Gets it back again. Oh, what a goal! Well, that sums up her season. WSL champions.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Vic Akers Wonderland. It has been a while since our last pod, but we are back with a little bit of a bang, and as always, joined by the partner in crime, Lottie. How are you?
Hey. Yeah, I'm okay. I've had a busy couple of weeks, unfortunately. Not being available personally, so again, it's been maybe a couple of weeks since we've been on here, but I'm all right. I'm doing better than I was. So, bit of a sore voice from going to the men's Chelsea game yesterday, but hopefully I sound okay.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, with the men at the moment, it is almost like very not passionate. Well, it is passionate, but at the same time, it's a very much emotional game at the moment. But
absolutely, 9 games to go.
Yes, and less than that for the women at the moment. There could potentially be more on the way, pending the results go as intended. Touching wood at the moment. So with news, let's start with probably the heaviest hitter of the bunch, which is that our Australian cohort, a trio, Kyra Cooney-Cross, Steph Catley and Caitlin Ford will all be at the Asia Cup for Australia. That runs until the 24th of February, which has just been and gone, and up until the 21st March. That means that they will miss the London City Lionesses game as well as West Ham. I know what I would say. If I said who do I think will miss the most, I think that I would be very biased. I think if you said that as well, but how much are we going to miss all three? Let's just put it that way.
What you mean, our Aussie spine? I think we'll be okay. I think our squad's big enough to cope without them. It will mean more minutes for Vic. More minutes also possibly for whoever wants to play on that wing at the moment. I mean, we keep switching, going from right to left, so it could be more minutes for Chloe, more minutes for, well, I can't say Beth because she just can't play. But it could also be opportunities for, is it Sophie Harwood?
No. Sophie Harwood is down as a left back, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, not Sophie Harwood. Who's the other girl that's come back off loan?
That hasn't. A lot of them have gone back out on loan.
Okay, never mind then. Forget my point.
But Sophie Harwood is. She is still with the squad at the moment. She is predominantly a left back, but she can play in that further up the field if needed to. Good option to have, because the unknown, shall we say, the Michelle Adjiman of the squad at this moment at a time, even though Michelle Adjiman is currently on ACL recovery mode at the moment. The North London derby, that's probably the most important one the most important, one of the ones that are most important when you look at the calendar. It is the 28th of March, which will be a Sunday, and that will be a 5:30 kickoff. And if you're in the UK, it is a Sky Sports game. 5:30 kickoff on a Sunday.
I'm buzzing. Midday kickoff needs to go in the bin. Absolutely in the bin. Like, you come out of football, it's just like I don't have the energy for to have some social time. That's the one thing on my New Year's resolution. Midday kickoffs, get them in the bin now. My
concern, the fact that it's a 5:30 kickoff. If I wanted to go down to see this fixture, I would have barely any chance of being able to get back from the game effectively. So in some way, they've isolated the some of the fan base just by choosing to do this at 5:30.
I know travel and stuff is tricky, but some people just kind of make it work.
Yeah.
Like, they'll get there regardless. I think we're going to have a pretty full house. There's a fair few men's fans that are eyeing up the fixture that I'm aware of at the moment.
Well, I would say if it was, say, like a 4:30 instead, I think you can make that work a little bit better, because that gives you the opportunity. 5:30, it's sort of like, by the time that finishes, it's around 7 o'clock, 8, just after 7 o'clock. So it is a bit tough for people to get back, especially with work the next day as well. But it is North London derby. Is it a Saturday?
It's a Saturday, yes. So I don't know where that's come from. It's been moved to Saturday at 5:30.
28th of March.
I'm sure it's a Saturday.
Oh no, sorry. Oh, right, no, I was thinking if it was a Sunday. Yeah, you are right. It is a Saturday, so that makes it a lot better. In terms of. So disregard everything I've just said about fans and things like that. There are plenty of fans that will probably be happy to stay over, should that be the case, and spend the night in London and come back. Because
the original fixture was Sunday. That's probably what's confused you.
Yes, it usually is. I did look at that. 5:30 on a Sunday. That's a bit weird. But let's go on to one of the reasons we are here. OH Leuven, second leg. Alessia Russo with a brace. Mariona Caldente with a penalty. And OH Leuven also made history with Patsai, also score on the score sheet, their first ever knockout goal in the Champions League. It was a really interesting game. I really enjoyed watching it. I really enjoyed our games against OH Leuven, because they've come to not come to play, but they've come to almost like Benfica in a way. They came and had a go, and with teams like this, you never know which team's going to come out. And to be fair to them, they're going to look back on this and probably say, we would like to do this again next year. Make sure that they reach the Champions League and go through the whole phase again and use it as a learning curve.
Oh, it is a learning curve, considering it's their first official run through the Champions League. They were a wild card this year. They were interesting to watch. And for a team that young to get this far against Arsenal, I think they played Chelsea as well. Did they play Chelsea? I can't remember off the top of my head. But they played us like 3 times and they held their own. I think we'll definitely be seeing them again. The learning experience from this, I think, has been a lot for such a young team.
That's one thing that we've got on their side. And actually, I do wonder, usually when we do have these sorts of games, it almost becomes a, who do you think you're going to see in the Champions? Not in the Champions League. Maybe we might see them again in the Champions League, but who you might see, say, scouts might be looking at them in the summer ahead of the new season. I'm sure there'll be a couple of players there that will probably be on teams' radars at the moment as well. But for the moment, it was a really good tie. Happy with that. And unfortunately, it's going to be almost like the Man City-esque of last season, where Man City versus Chelsea.
I take that back. It wasn't Chelsea. They played Barcelona. Apologies.
There we go. So it's still good learning curve for them. But,
absolutely, but the thing is, you look back at their fixtures. Sorry, Matt, I've just got it in front of me. Like they come through the group stages. They beat Rosengard. They've Vorska Polta twice. Paris FC they drew with. They beat FC 20. They lost 3-0 to Barcelona. Kept up with Roma as well. At 1-1. Drew with PSG. Sorry, Paris. And yeah, they obviously got one past us. Yeah, in 3 games, which it's not the end of the world. But no. The point is, they still scored against the champions, and that's pretty big for a first run.
We had to look at the next. We have to look at the next round, and Chelsea are going to be fed up of playing Arsenal by the end of the season. You can just tell. This will be the 4th. By the time that this goes out, this will be the 4th time they're meeting. Potentially could be 5th come depending on what happens in the FA Cup. But Chelsea will be the opposition. 24th of March is the home leg. That is a Tuesday, and it's going to be 8 p.m. kickoff. And the away leg, which is unfortunately, is April Fool's Day, the 1st of April. So not a good day to have an away leg at Stamford Bridge. But Chelsea are expecting a couple of their players back for that by the time that the both fixtures turn around. So we might see almost full strength Chelsea team by the time that these fixtures hang about. What are your thoughts just going into this?
Honest answer, these games could go either way. There's no hoodoo around the bridge anymore. I was there. It was beautiful. I don't care if it wasn't a full squad Chelsea. Seeing a strut from Lucy Bronze and her kicking the ball away twice because she was livid. I think it's going to be a very close games, but it can go either way. I'm not going to say we're going to win. I'm not going to say we lose. It can go either way. There's no hoodoo about them coming to the Emirates, thanks to Jonas Eidevall and his nonsense. So it can go either way, and I think these games will show if Sonia Bonpasta has the wheels on the bus still or not, especially with all the stuff that's going around about in and out the Chelsea household.
Yes, it does feel like the bus stop in Fulham is falling apart, as it seems. If for those that don't know, there has been a lot of rumours out there, or a lot of outgoing messages of how unsupported the women's side is compared to the men's, and it's almost like they've got a puzzle box, but they're putting every single puzzle piece upside down. I think it's the best way to explain it.
The best way to explain it is they're washing their dirty laundry in public.
That's the other way. I like my analogy. You can have yours, but either way, it paints a picture. And if I was to go player for player, I think what I would say is whoever does the. I know this sounds very cliche. I think whoever does better in the midfield wins the game. If you can silence Alyssa Thompson.
Alyssa Thompson.
I knew I was going to get it wrong. Get it right. Get it wrong.
I have pointed to thinking you were going to say Alessia, and I was like, why is he struggling?
It's the way it's set. The way it's spelled is ALYSSA.
Yeah,
it's confused. It's very. I'm trying to do it in my head without actually thinking. But yeah, I think if you can silence Thompson, if you can silence Kerr,
I'm going to be honest with you, Kerr's not really the threat. It's Baltimore at the moment.
Well, we'll see what will happen. But essentially, the other thing is if you can get.
Remember, Sam Kerr will also be back when Caitlin Ford, Kyra, and Steph are back. They're back from the 24th of March game. They might not even play the first leg. They all might play at Stamford Bridge. So you've also got to take that into consideration. I don't think they've got any other Australians apart from Sam.
Ellie Carpenter.
And Ellie Carpenter. Sorry, I do apologise.
No, you know what? I was just about to say, you know what? Ellie Carpenter's going to be, if you can get Lucy Bronze and Ellie Carpenter running back instead of running forwards, that's going to be where the game's won.
Yeah. By then, Olivia Smith should be over her concussion, She's been withdrawn from the She Believe Cup.
Yeah,
and the Canadian team because of the concussion.
Yes, so
she should be fully up and running by then as well.
I
don't expect to see her at West Ham. I don't think
it's a 2-week protocol at the moment. So I believe this week So if that was going from last Sunday, that would be week 1. So this Sunday's the 8th. So it means that she would be available. But it also means whether or not she'll be up to speed.
She was out for 15 minutes, so I'm not.
Yeah, I would. At this moment in time, I would rather she take her time and build up that build herself up. To be honest, let's have a quick talk about Olivia Smith, because I have been thinking about this for a while. What does Olivia Smith bring to Arsenal, which she didn't bring? Not what Arsenal didn't have last season. What did Arsenal not have last season? A player who wasn't afraid to have shots out of on the edge of the box. And in terms of this, like, if you were to look at modern day football, what is your example of a goal? It would probably be passing the ball around and someone potentially puts a low ball in the box and someone taps it in. You don't really see the wonder goals anymore. Olivia Smith is one of those players. And you know what? I think she's learning from some of the best players, like the Kim Littles, with the close controls and things like that. That's one of the reasons why on that opening day of the season, that goal against London City Lionesses, it's a perler. And she continues to repeat and repeat and repeat. And no one knows how to defend against it, because no one is able to understand the beauty of having that shot from outside the box. It's an unpredictable stat. And when you come up against unpredictability as a defender, you back off. And she has created so many opportunities and so many chances for Arsenal. Whether they've gone in or not is a different matter. But to be honest, if I was to pick a player of the season, she's up there.
We're only about just over the halfway point. I think for me, it's probably a close call between someone else and her. I think she's bought everything we need. She's kind of taken over from Caitlin Ford. I don't know why I didn't think of Olivia earlier. I feel like a right donut now. But she'll definitely be getting more minutes now that there's no Caitlin around to take her off from, as well as Chloe. But yeah, no, I think she's because she's a lot younger, she's goal hungry. That's no dirt on Caitlin Ford. She's gone back to a bad season. She was phenomenal last season. I really enjoyed her last season, but she's kind of dropped off again. But you can't always be perfect. She is doing the work. I can't complain about that. And she did win us the Champions Cup. So after McCabe's mistake.
That wasn't a mistake. That was a good tackle, and it was, and unfortunately.
I've watched that back a couple of times. It was a penalty. It was a penalty. She knew it.
I still stand by. She's won the ball before she's taken the player. I still stand by that, but we'll have to agree to disagree and let you carry on with yours.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue over that. I know what I've saw. I've watched it frame by frame. It was, unfortunately. Although I said otherwise, I think on the previous podcast. What was we talking about again? Oh yeah, Olivia Smith. Yeah, no, she's been a great addition. I think if Caitlin Ford chooses to move on, we've got her replacement set and ready to go. So whether she does or not is a different story. I don't think she's on the list for contract renewals in the summer, is she?
Caitlin Ford, I think she is down for a release to be. I think it's about 8 players. I think Caitlin Ford is a possibility. Yeah, it's a possibility. If I was to run through that list, that's at the top of my head: Kim Little, Leah Williamson, Katie McCabe, Stina, Beth Mead. Is that 5, 6 players? Sorry,
Steve Caitlin Ford.
Have I mentioned Steph Catley? I don't think Steph Catley's had
Katie McCabe, Caitlin Ford. That's at least 6.
Yeah, so there are a few more, and forgive us if we do forget them. But there are Alea Kadina's probably the other one as well. So there's 7.
Yeah, and the way that they're saying, we want to rejuvenate the squad, I'm not holding my breath on some of these.
Well, I would say that I think that attacking line is more likely to go than the defensive line.
We'll see.
Well, again, the only thing I think as well is that Steph Catley is because of her left foot being as good as Messi's. I just left-footed players, and especially when you convert them from left back to centre back, they are a rare breed. Arsenal haven't had a left centre back.
Yeah, but we let go a rare breed in the summer. It doesn't make sense. So please don't try and logicalise Arsenal because they don't make sense.
No, but it'll be. It's
no
about
other
balance.
two-footed player in this league.
It's
There's
about
zero.
It's all about balance.
But we had the midfield balance, and now we've got great big gaping hole. It doesn't make sense.
Well, maybe they'll learn from that mistake, and maybe they might actually do something about it. But for the moment, there is player, as you mentioned, players. But we should probably also talk about because it's going to come up in a little while. We've got to mention the unforgotten game that is Brighton in the WSL, the one that was called off because of the rain. Again, fans made the journey all the way down to Crawley only for it to be abandoned. Abandoned, postponed, whichever one. Postponed is probably the best way to put it, but it wasn't abandoned because the game hadn't kicked off. Silly me. That has been rescheduled for the 6th of May. That is the Wednesday. It's 7:45 kickoff. Once again, Arsenal and Crawley. Probably, as one of our friends mentioned, Alistair, it's probably one of the worst games in WSL.
Yeah, no, it's just not surprising. I mean, the pitch was covered. It was flooded. We've had 6 weeks solid of rain. I think the last week or so we've actually had some sunshine, even if it was partly clouded. But yeah, rescheduled is rescheduled. Do you know what I mean?
Finally, we'll talk about the Bristol City game, which is the FA Cup match. Boreham Woods, nice little day out. The sun was shining. It was really nice to be in the south stand to be honest, for that game, and I enjoyed what I saw. Apart from what obviously happened with Olivia Smith with a concussion, she's now as you mentioned, concussion protocol. Kim Little got scoring from a corner. Quite nice that she managed to poke it over the line. It was nice to see Kim Little score. It's again another rarity to see Kim Little score. And when it does happen, it's usually a huge sort of moment for a lot of people.
No, it definitely is. I mean, we're doing this on the 2nd of March today, and it's actually rewind to 2008. That was Kim Little's first game for the Arsenal. That's how long she's been here, and it's just like, oh, she's all ours. So we could be on our way to 20 years of Kim Little. Well, I think we are. I'm hoping we are because I'd love that. But yeah, no, Kimmy's scoring is just out of this world. I mean, I think she's, was it this year? I think I've seen another Kim Little goal somewhere along this season as well. So it's just been privileged to watch it, to be honest with you. It's nice to see Vic back on the score sheet as well. I always enjoy her. It's like seeing her smile. She looks scary during games. There's just no facial expressions. It's like it's a death stare.
You made a couple of photos, didn't you? And you got one where she looks like she's about to rip someone's head off.
Yeah, she looks like she's going to hit someone. But yeah, she's learned that very well from Leah Williamson. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, Frida's goal was that was another super. Well, I actually missed that one because I'm still
so
I'm going to let you talk about that one. I was turned around and I was half turned, so I wasn't actually watching the game. But
it was just a very shot from. I think it was a bit similar to Vic, but it was just inside the area when she just had the shot in crowd bodies, and it's gone into the back of the net. To be honest, when it's at the other side of the stadium, whenever there was a set piece or whenever there were mainly corners or anything like that, and it's almost like a goal mile scramble, you don't know what's going on, so you're kind of relying on the announcer to say something, and all I know is the ball's in the back of the net. But it's nice to see Frida on the score sheet.
Yeah, from the south stand, you just see that scramble and you just wait for that net to ripple and then you know it's gone in. Don't care who's gone in, it's a goal. But I've got to say, Bristol City did look really good. Normally, we're 3-0 up by half time. The fact that it didn't get to 3-0 to the second half, I think that's a credit to them. They have got better than they have been in previous draws, and obviously in WSL. Are they in contention to come up?
They are in contention. They're looking towards that
so
third spot. So, but they brought Katie Robinson managed to get some minutes. Jess Gale didn't get on the pitch because she was actually, I wonder if she was cup tied because she did play for Portsmouth earlier in the season. So it might have been that she was cup tied, which is why she didn't play. I'm trying to think. Think of Lexi Lloyd Smith played, and she was quite a handful. I felt. I got it wrong. She wasn't under 19. She's 21, so she'll be in the under 23 squad for the Lionesses. But she is another. There is plenty of talent there. Definitely gonna, if Bristol City do get into that playoff spot and say play, whether it's whoever it's going to be, because it looks like Leicester's going to go down automatically. It will be one to keep an eye on because I think they will give. I don't know if it's going to be West Ham. I don't know if it's going to be. It doesn't look like it's going to be Liverpool.
Well, we all know who I think's going down, and my money is on them to go down. But I think they're going to scrape it again.
Well, we'll wait and see.
Get the bare minimum done.
But it does mean that it's another FA Cup home game at Meadow Park, though it's to be confirmed. This is because the game will have to be played on the Sunday because of the Champions League game on the 1st. It is that week. The FA Cup follow that weekend. So it does mean that it's most likely going to be a Sunday. Could be a 2 p.m. kickoff. It might even be pushed further back, I reckon, just to ensure that extra time penalties, if that happens in the Champions League, the right protocols can be in place. So it could be maybe pushed to maybe say a 5:30 kickoff. But we'll wait and see on that. But do you fancy your chances? Do you fancy the team's chances against Brighton?
Yeah, I guess so. But again, we're at home. What was the date for that again?
That is, I am gonna struggle with this now. So if I said it's the weekend of, that would be the 5th of April.
Well, it will probably be that weekend because Bournemouth are away to Solihull Moors. Yeah. So it will be probably that weekend, more than likely.
Thursday, Friday. So they could do it on the Saturday, but I think it makes more sense to play it on the Sunday, to be honest, to allow that extra hour just in case it does go to extra time penalties. It was like when Tottenham played London City Lionesses on the Monday. No idea why that was happening. And especially with kids being in school as well, that was a bit of a
thing. Is we're not here to cater for the kids all the time. I know it's family friendly. I know that there are adults that go to it, and it's starting to get on my nerves. Like, I'm a bit bored to someone's mum telling me just curb my language. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm frustrated at the football. I'm sorry. No, bring your child to football, deal with it. And I know I sound like a right see you next Tuesday, but I am kind of at the point where I'm sick of it. I am censoring my chance. And when I think the Chelsea game was the first time I officially lost it. Like, we all know how atrocious that thing was. And like, I had someone's mum said, "Oh, you didn't have to lose your temper like that." I said, I just looked at her and went, "Do you know what? I don't care. I genuinely don't care." I censored everything, and I absolutely lost my shit that day. I haven't done it since, but football, it comes out of different people in different ways. You can support your individual players, or you can support the club. The culture is, there's a lot of people who follow specific players. Fine. I don't really care. I'm here to support my club. I don't care who plays for them, but I do care. You know what I mean? I'm not a player follower. Like I'll follow people like Cristiano Girelli. I keep an eye on them. I don't go to the games. I don't buy the shirts and all that kind of stuff. I just don't do it because that's not how I see football. But I know I'm ranting here, but I'm not here to censor it for everybody else. It's for the adults as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about, family friendly, although that is a big chunk of Arsenal marketing and the way they do things. But there are a lot of adults. We like a beer. We like a song. Yeah, we censor it to stop swearing. And yes, we shout our heads off when things go wrong. And that is kind of normal. As long as you're not crossing the line with the shouting. That's the one thing I don't do. Like, when it gets discriminatory, we don't want that. But it's a fine line thinking about the people without children, the people with children. It's a very, very fine line, I think. And Arsenal are balancing in that very well. But there's also a case of you need to understand that for some fans, they let off steam and stress by screaming their heads off at the pitch. Whether it's supported or getting frustrated or whatever, it just lets stuff off. It's letting steam off. You know?
I think just for me, it was more of a case that usually the FA Cup is done Saturday, Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And for whatever reason, they did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and it was London City Lionesses versus Tottenham. Game that, okay, but put it on the Sunday, put it on the Saturday. You don't have to put it. I think it was Man United played. Birmingham City played on the Friday. No, Birmingham City played on the Saturday. I'm sure one of the teams played on the Friday. It might be Manchester United in one of the earlier rounds.
But you've also got to turn around and look at the TV fixtures. We have midday kickoffs. It's TV fixtures.
This is where I don't like the fact that...
I know you don't like it, but that's where the clubs are making their money.
No, it's between the paywall behind it. I don't want to be paying an X amount just to be able to sit and watch women's football. At the moment, let's just put it this way: I'm paying £20 a month for Sky to play football. If I wanted to watch the FA Cup as well and whatever else, it's all gone over to TNT in the UK, which means if you wanted just to watch that on top of that, that is £31 a month. £31 plus the £20. That's well over £50. That basically would almost guarantee you 5 tickets to a game, say, or if you're a season ticket holder at any of the WSL clubs, most likely. So it's about. I'm sorry. No, just in general. I'm talking about. Say you paid your. So I paid £100 for my Everton ticket. So that's what I'm saying. If I'm using Everton as the example, as the average, not the entire league standard. The league standard Arsenal's 120, or is it 130?
136.
136. There we go. So
£13.65 a ticket.
So that would only work out as well. So my maths is terrible, but that works out roughly 6 games of the WSL season alone. Now, that's the worry. I don't want to be sitting there behind a paywall having to pay XYZ money. It was one of the problems that when all this money came in, great, but you now look at at certain other leagues around the world. I'm not going to mention whether it's women's and men's because we all know different ways. Some of it has lost its value or lost what it really meant in the to certain fans. Some fans have had to step away from certain leagues and because they can't afford it anymore because of either it's traveling or it's the TV has changed the kickoffs at the last 2 weeks, which means you now have to say I can't go to that game anymore. It's all about cost effectiveness, making sure that everyone, or it's suited to everyone. And if you're putting a prestigious cup as the FA Cup, let's say, behind a paywall, people are either not gonna find the interest in it or find it. I go back to lockdown, and when I found out about Arsenal women, I did know about it, but I didn't actually get to see it. This was one of the first games of the season. That's where the interest started. If I was to run into that situation now, this is now nearly 10 years later, I wouldn't be able to have the access to it that I do anymore. But we're going a bit off topic.
No,
really.
I get where you're coming from, but unfortunately, football clubs are businesses, and the business is people want to watch football, and that's where the money is made. Unfortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, but the women have won the Euros. We've got several big England stars, and that, as I said earlier, a lot of people come to watch the individual player, not the club, and that's what brings the money in. That's what brings the fans in. And more fans, whether they're in England or they're abroad, they want to be watching us. And that's what you want for a growing sport. And that's how it works. And Arsenal, whichever WSL club you look at as, they will see it as a business opportunity and to make some money. I mean, we have a clothing range every 3-4 weeks. Do you know what I mean? It's a business before it is a football club. And the way the game's growing, it's just going to continue. Those paywalls are coming, whether you like it or not, unfortunately. And the more TV deals and more endorsements, it might close the pay gap for some of them, but not all of them. And it might level things out on the transfers, but it's unfortunately those paywalls are coming if they're not already here.
Oh, that's a bit of a downer to finish on.
That's my honest opinion, I'm afraid. But you can say you don't want it, but it's coming, and that's unfortunately growth of the game, which is a slight negative to what we actually want. So,
I mean, I would love to be able to go. Nothing else more than to be able to go down to the Emirates every other weekend and go and see the team play home and away. But unfortunately, because of where I live, I'm not able to. And it's just again, travel expenses and things like that. It all plays a part, and for some people, it is still cost efficient. But it's about other things along the lines that is forgotten about. Now, I feel like that is a sour note to think on. Let's try and think of something positive. So, what's the one positive that I can think of? The Lionesses play tomorrow against Ukraine, 5 p.m. kickoff. I'm going to be looking forward to that.
And it's not behind a paywall.
No, it's ITV, so which probably means seeing right. It's going to be on there.
Oh yeah,
Woodsy.
Yeah, I'll be happy to see Woodsy. I love Woodsy.
And so that on that note, you can follow us.
I've got another positive note. Positive. No Enya Luco. Sorry. Where can you find the podcast? Sorry,
you can find the podcast on Twitter at VAW Pod. We are also on Blue Sky. We are on I'm going to say Instagram. You can also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, as well as
audio
on YouTube.
Platform. Yep.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, or as I like to say, tickle the button. But where can the lovely people find you, Lottie?
My Instagram is locked at the moment, so I do apologise if I don't allow people in. I've got some stuff going on at the moment, but you can follow me on my little Twitter account at Lottie_AWFC. I don't really use Blue Sky. It's there, but I don't really exist, if that makes sense.
You can find me at MattLR28 on most of the platforms. I'm trying to use as Blue Sky. I'm failing at that. I seem to be using Threads more than anything else at the moment. But that's mainly because everyone has cat photos, and I quite like a cat photo. But that's enough of that. Thank you all for joining us tonight or today, wherever you're doing. I hope that you have a lovely weekend, whatever you're doing. And don't forget, come on, you Gunners.